There's a problem with sending humans back to the lunar surface, and solving that problem will require doing something that has never really been done before. This is the SLS, NASA's current launch system designed to send astronauts beyond Earth's orbit aboard the Orion spacecraft. And we've all witnessed the success of it with Artemis 1 and 2, but the landing humans on the moon part? Yeah, that's not part of it. At all. Let me explain. In order for NASA to put boots on the moon again, they will need new lunar landers. And unlike the Apollo missions, the landers that they're planning on using for the Artemis program will not be part of this launch system. Those landers will require completely separate configurations that are being developed by two private vendors, SpaceX and Blue Origin. So why did NASA choose to go with these vendors? Well, their goal this time around was not to land on the moon once, but to have a sustained presence there and to build a moon base. So when they saw that these companies were not only able to deliver the reliable system that they needed, but also capable of lowering costs, the decision was pretty clear. Because regardless of how you feel about the founders of these companies, they're pretty good at that. So in 2021, NASA selected SpaceX to begin developing what they call the HLS system. And Blue Origin was later brought in as a second provider, giving NASA sort of another path towards landing humans on the moon again. And at this point, people were excited because for the first time in decades, it seemed like we were landing on the moon again. So why is it that people are concerned that these landers could jeopardize the timeline of the moon landing? That's where things get complicated. On one end, you have the fact that both lunar lander options are dramatically more capable compared to the Apollo generation ones. But on the other hand, a lot of the improvements that they offer are tied to their much larger size, and that makes them a lot heavier, which means that getting these giant landers to the moon requires a lot more fuel than a single launch can carry. The solution? Refueling in space. How? Well, you have a big tanker in lower orbit, and then a lander attaches itself to it and fills up before starting its trip to the moon, which is a lot easier said than done. In-space propellant transfer has never really been done at this scale before, and dealing with fluids and microgravity is not what you would call easy. On top of that, you have that very little information about this entire process has been shared with the public. All we know is that SpaceX is testing a new version of Starship with upgrades and docking mechanisms for refueling. We know that it will take multiple launches to transfer enough fuel for a single lunar mission, and this one animation that you've been looking at showing how the docking process could look like. And that's about it. For Blue Origin, we found out this week that their cargo lander will be tested as early as this year, and it will be used to start sending rovers and drones to help kickstart the moon base, which is great, but we don't really have many updates on their human crewed lander. For that, all we know is that it will look like this, because it's the only image that they've shared of it, and that they partnered with Lockheed Martin for the refueling part of the process. And to be completely clear, this does not mean that it's impossible. Far from it. In fact, SpaceX just successfully completed the latest test of their Starship. And like I mentioned earlier, NASA announced testing the Blue Origin cargo lander this year, which is exciting news. But we're still far from testing the biggest unknown, that orbital refueling part of the process. And although these companies are definitely capable of solving that problem, problems are solved by testing solutions. And solutions will likely take multiple failures, multiple tries, and multiple iterations to confidently make them work safely. And when you take all of those things into consideration, this landing on the moon timeline seems ambitious. But make no mistake, when they achieve this, we'll witness a degree of space exploration that has only ever been seen in science fiction before.